I'm Chris,
And I'm Kylie. And this is Redefining Resilience,
where we explore what it means to build a resilient lifestyle
so you can thrive in any and every situation. So today,
Yes.
I want to dig into, because this is about me, I want to dig into why the heck you chose Strongman as your sport.
First off, it is about you. All of this.
Always.
And yeah, that's an interesting story, actually. At least I think it's interesting.
So let me begin. So this will be me interviewing Chris today, because I think this is a really fascinating story, and you guys don't live with him, so you don't know, but his passion for health and fitness and the strength world is like off the chains, and it's super inspirational, and just even hearing him talk about this stuff, I think, is very motivating. So I wanted to share a little bit of his passion with everyone.
That's slightly scary, but okay.
No, it's not. Get out of here. All right. So first question
Yes.
that people want to know. When did you first start worshiping the iron?
I love that question. First off, 14.
Years old?
14 years old. I was 14 years old when I went to my first gym. I was 7 years old when I watched Rocky IV. I was living in Virginia, I think. I remember the television, the room I watched it in, and how I felt.
How'd you feel?
Overloaded. Absolutely, completely overloaded. Like,
By Rocky IV.
yes.
Okay.
It was the only time I've ever watched a movie and felt the passion. Like, felt it. Whatever he was going through, I felt like I was in the ring with him. And I just was overloaded. The training montage is so good. So good. I still have that on my workout play mix. Like,
The song?
yeah, no
Yeah.
easy way out, man.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's just pure, unadulterated passion. The whole movie's just, you have to love the iron to understand it.
So that was when the seed was planted, and then you stepped into the gym for the first time at 14. What
Yes.
happened?
It was the YMCA in Shreveport, Louisiana, and there was the cardio room and the machine room that you were allowed to go into underneath 15 years old. You had to be 15 to go to the weight room, and it was out the door, around the pool, in a separate building. And I lied about my age. I told him I was 15, and lucky enough, I was as tall as I am now. So I was 6 foot at 14. It was just super awkward. And I basically snuck into the gym. But I remember following this guy in his YMCA polo, like, nervous. Like, so, you know, when you get excited about Christmas and you're just like, fuck, there's just so many emotions. Like, this is going to be so cool. Like, I don't know what I'm walking into, like, in line for a roller coaster.
I was thinking more so like when I was in line to get in a bar underage with my fake ID.
Sure. Maybe the same feeling.
But probably not as health conscious.
Just very excited.
Yeah.
Because I knew, like, how do you say it? I knew where I wanted to go. I don't know why this makes me emotional. But, like, this was it. This is where it started. Like, it was the only time in my life that I felt like, this is day fucking one, right? Like,
Yeah.
that is really cool. Like, I knew this was going to be here forever. I knew this was part of the reason I was put on this planet, and it would be very instrumental for everything else. I just, yeah, it was just cool. It's like, this is it.
Why'd you love it so much?
It was just so awesome, right? It was so cool that all it took was effort. I didn't have to be born into $1 million. I didn't have to have, like, I didn't have to be the biggest. I didn't have to be the fastest. I just had to fucking try all the time, and I'd make it. Like, I mean, if you look at, like, owning a Ferrari or, like, a multi-million-dollar mansion, there's, like, a lot of things that have to happen that are kind of out of your control. You know, you have to go to a good school. You got to go to a good college. You got to know the right people, play the right games. And it's just, I mean, it's out of a lot of people's reach, you know? Fitness is within everybody's reach. It is literally just a decision, and that is it. And you have everything at your disposal. Your body and your mind is all you need.
So did you know at 14 years old that you were going to make this a habit immediately?
Oh, yeah.
How did you know?
It was too powerful to ignore, right? I don't know what it was. I didn't know what I was going to do with it, and I didn't know exactly the avenue, but I knew it was going to be a part of it, and it was going to be an instrumental part of it. Like, this was going to define me. You know, when you meet like firemen or police officers, and they're like, well, I remember when I first met a police officer, and like, it was really cool. He was wearing a cool uniform, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. That was me when I walked into the gym.
Okay.
It was like, oh, this is it. Like, I don't know what this is. Everything's the color brown. Like, it smells weird. I remember I could probably draw the layout of that gym if I wanted to. And I think it would be spot on. I have spent all the time there, as much time there as physically possible.
How did you know like how to lift at that point in time?
Absolutely not.
What did you do when you went in there?
I just played around with shit. Like, this is back in like the Stone Age. My parents used to get us gifts for Easter. So my dad got me these purple and gray grippers, the little squeezers to make your forearms bigger.
Oh, yeah.
And I got the Arnold Encyclopedia to Bodybuilding. And I just fucking read it cover to cover all the time. Like, I had little like sticky note tabs for back and buys and arms and, you know, shoulders and lats. And I just loved it. I just thought, if this guy can do it, why can't I? You know? And I just thought that was like the pinnacle of manhood, was to be fucking ginormous. And it just looked cool. It represented everything that was like awesome to me. Yeah, I just knew it was going to be big. I knew it was going to be big. Like, yeah.
What kept you going back?
I didn't feel like I had a choice. You are born with certain things and liking certain things and being a certain way. And the iron was just always there. And it just fit. For some reason, it just was a part of my life, like instantly. I don't know why or how. Like, it wasn't like I looked at it and thought, well, it'd be really cool to look like that. It was like, I will look like that. Like, I don't have a choice. Like, there is nothing else I want more than to have this be a part of my life.
So is it about the look of like the 80s action heroes that you loved, or was it actually working out that you loved?
Well, it started with the look. So pretty much anybody that's in the iron game started as a bodybuilder, because you want to look like a dude. You want to be a massive human. And if you're attracted to that, like that look and that stance and being larger than life, like you want to be that. And all my favorite heroes, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Van Damme, all of those guys, Dolph Lundgren, they were just larger than life. And who doesn't want to be larger than life? You don't want to be the skinny guy in the movie. Like, everybody hates that guy. He dies first. Yeah. I joke around all the time, and I tell people, if I could be in a movie, I want to be the huge guy with the biggest gun that kills the most people and then dies in an explosion. Like, I would love that to be my cinematic start and end. I would be totally fine. But it started with the look, and then it became very deep, very quick. It went from loving the look to understanding that this isn't for everybody, right? This is something you have to fight for. And you have to understand that this isn't like, it's not a gift, it's earned. And you can want all day long. As my grandma used to say, spit in one hand and want in the other and see which one fills up faster. Like, action is the outcome. And I think that's what I liked about it most, was I control this. This is mine. Nobody can do this for me. And because nobody can do this for me, nobody can tell me they gave it to me.
Did you see results right away?
No, not for years.
Oh.
Not for years. I was dicking around for years, man. All I knew how to do was bench press and do tricep extensions like skull crushers. So I just fucking bench pressed all the time.
So you have big arms and bird legs.
Yeah, essentially. Big triceps. I didn't do bicep curls because I thought they were useless. And yeah. So I wrote about this in a blog. I think it's on the website. One of the defining moments in my life, I used to go in and just bench press all the time. So I would have hated me, first off, if I was in the gym with me. And I remember just clogging up this bench press. We had 2 of them. And one of them had a shitty pad on it, like a bench press pad. And I used the good one because I'm an idiot. And this old timer with like combat boots and the do-rag, just covered in sweat, old flannel on, just a 90s power lifter, came over to me and just fucking let me have it. Like, you're clogging up the bench. Nobody gives a fuck about your PRs. Like, you're doing 15 fucking sets and flexing in the mirror, and just let me have it. And then he told me, nobody loves you. Nobody gives a shit about you, and get the fuck out of here. And I remember leaving just like broken, right? Like, this is the thing I love, and I'm trying really hard. Poor me, you know? And I remember going home and looking in the mirror, and I'm like, all right, man, what are you going to do with this? This is like square fucking one, man. You can't give up now. Like, you think this is the only hard shit you're going to see? Fuck that guy. Like, maybe I should be a little bit smarter and not bench press for 15 sets. So I went back and reread the encyclopedia about chest, and I'm like, well, maybe I can like reduce it down to a normal set of, you know, four sets instead of 15, and maybe I can do other things in the gym.
Focus on legs maybe once in a while.
But I saw that guy a couple weeks after it, and we were cool. Like, I would think I was doing lat pull downs or something, and he walks in and he goes, hey, bud. I said, hey, man. And that was it. Which in the gym, you can talk to any guy. You get a hey, bud, or what's up, king, or what's up,
King?
or big dude, what's up, big guy. Like, you're in the mix. Like, you've been accepted into the group of iron worshipers, you know.
I expect you to say, hey, queen, when I walk into the gym, okay?
No.
Yeah.
I will say, hey, boo.
Okay, fine. That'll work.
But yeah, it was a defining moment in my life that was, if you want this, he'll take it away from you, but he can't give it to you. So like, don't let him take it away from you. You know, like, if you want this, bud, go get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, trained on and off for several years. And
did you try any other forms of fitness?
Yeah, I ran a half marathon. I ran a lot. In high school, I played lacrosse for a while. So I ran like 5 or 6 miles a day. I was really thin. I was about 180 pounds. 165 is my leanest.
Oh my gosh. You're now 100 pounds heavier than that.
Yes. Yes, I'm what's called a man size.
Yeah, not fun size anymore.
No. Anything below 200 pounds is kidnappable. I'm not kidnappable. So.
No one's kidnapping you.
No.
That's for fucking sure.
No. We took, Emma and I took the trash out when she was here
Yeah.
a while ago. And she goes, what if somebody pulled up and tried to kidnap you? I said, think about that question. She just started laughing. She goes, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I said, no, it will not.
I feel very safe when I walk down the streets of our metropolitan area with you.
Yeah, nobody's going to mess with us. We're fine.
No. Okay, so how long were you into running?
Oh, several years. I just really enjoyed the self-deprivation portion of it, I think. Like, try something that's really fucking hard and just see how far you can go with it. I got into triathlons. Found out I was absolutely terrified of open water swimming.
I was going to say, I don't know how you did that.
I did a lot of swimming in college in the Olympic-sized swimming pool they had. I used to swim every morning.
For funsies?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would swim 2 miles a day. So it's like 78 laps, I think is what it was, something like that. I loved it. I just loved the whole fitness portion. I liked feeling good. I liked looking good. And then in 2014, I signed up for a powerlifting meet. And that was the beginning of the end. I knew after that meet, that was like, that was it. I got real fat, got about 253 pounds, and I mean, it was fucking awesome. We got to go into a room with a bunch of dudes and ladies and fucking smash the iron for 4 hours. And everybody cheered everybody on. What a cool fucking place to be, you know? Like, you don't have anything to do here but squat, bench, and deadlift. And we'll cheer you on. Yeah. And you'll hit a PR. And if you're really good at it, you get a fucking trophy. So I left I won that class, which was pretty cool. I think it was like me and 2 other guys. It was a 253.1 class. I think it was 252 point. Anyways, they don't have it anymore. It was with the Southern Powerlifting Federation. And I left there and I thought, what was this? Like, I owned a gym at the time. I knew I was going to be in fitness. So I guess the first defining moment was walking into the gym, and the second was my first powerlifting meet. And
you won.
I did. I got a cool trophy.
Okay, so then how did you get into strongman? Because powerlifting is not the same as strongman.
It is not. So for the layman's, people that don't understand this, powerlifting is 3 lifts, squat, bench, and deadlift. You get 3 shots at each. You have judges on the sides and in front of you, and they measure your lift. So you have to get approved for each lift. And then they take your total at the end, and whoever has the highest total in your weight class wins.
Yep.
So I had a 1,500-pound total, which means I squatted 5, benched 4, and deadlifted 6.
So you squatted 500 pounds, benched 400, and deadlifted 600.
Yeah, it's my first powerlifting meet ever.
That's wild.
That was cool.
Yeah.
1,500-pound total, day one is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Then I went to a buddy's strongman and signed up for the next one, which was in our town. And there were 17 competitors. I got 16th out of 17th because the last guy didn't show up.
Yep, loser.
I was literally last.
You literally were a loser. Aw.
So we had like 3 deadlift movements, and I think I deadlifted 4 times before that and just got fucking slaughtered. Like absolutely destroyed. Lots of pull really hard and nothing happens. So, and to add insult to injury, the guy that was hosting the event had a gym in my town that hated us. And it was called Argonauts Fitness. And I was tiny. I was under 200 pounds. I think it was like 185.
Dang.
He ordered me a fucking 3X t-shirt. So I'm walking around looking like a fucking idiot in this like blanket of a t-shirt and losing everything, right? So not only am I not competing at a level that is like even warrants being there, I look like an idiot, right?
You're swimming in your blanket shirt.
It was awful. So
then you quit.
No, I loved it. I thought, man, what a cool sport. I can do more than squat, bench, and deadlift. I can like fuck some shit up. Like, this is really neat.
Yeah.
And if we go back several years, I used to watch World's Strongest Man all the time. It was like the Thanksgiving tradition, right? That and watching James Bond. So I'd watched it. I'd been around it.
I think we have very different Thanksgiving traditions, but carry on.
Yeah. So I'd watched it. I knew what it was. And after that first Strongman, I mean, I was hooked. I was like, this is really fucking cool. I started surrounding myself with strongmen, started finding powerlifters to talk to, started just getting all that I could in my life from that sport. Competed several times. Yeah, just had a good time. We turned our whole gym into a strongman powerlifting gym. We didn't even take Gen Pop anymore. We were just, if you compete, you'll be here. If you don't compete, you're not going to be here. So yeah, just fell in love with the sport. And it takes me up until now.
So how many strongman competitions have you done?
8, I think.
Okay.
Maybe 10.
Okay. And you compete locally, and then you qualify if you place at a local competition, right?
So the way it works is if you compete in a sanctioned event with more than 7 competitors, I think it's 7, might be 5 now. If you get top 3, you qualify for nationals. So there's 3 different sanctioned entities. I compete in the United States Strongman, and then there's North American Strongman, and then other ones, Strongman Corp. I think North American Strongman actually turned into Strongman Corp, but either way, you compete in a regional event. You can go to whatever you want in all of America. They're on a website called Iron Podium. Sign up for regional, compete become top 3 in that or win top 3. Then you go to nationals. Nationals is in at one spot, one time a year. You win nationals or top 3 in nationals, you go to worlds. Then after worlds, there's pretty much world's strongest man, and that's it. So, yeah.
And you've been to nationals twice now.
Twice in 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took like a 6-year hiatus and came back and
Qualified.
impressed myself. Yeah.
And the sport for you, just from what I've experienced in the last 2 years, has been full of ups and downs.
It's like taking all of life and reducing it down to 6 months. Your whole experience in life, all your joys, all your failures, all your pains, all your mediocre days, just fucking crammed into a training program.
So when you went to nationals this last time.
Yeah. This is why we're having this podcast, so we can talk about nationals.
No, it's not. I mean, we can't not talk about it.
Yeah, it was awful. It was awful.
What made it awful?
A lot of things. One, I had no idea altitude affected me that much.
Oh, yeah. It was in Denver, and the altitude was way different, obviously, than here in Indiana.
Yeah, it was brutal. The other thing was Strongman is notorious. And this is the one thing we got to get our shit fixed on. The rules that are listed on the event are never the rules of the actual event, nor are they generally the weight or the movement. So you sign up for something, train for something, show up for something completely different. They do a really good job of keeping the same events now, but weights will change and rules are always different. Mm-hmm. Always. So I've done this for several years. I've put on shows. I've hosted several strongman events. I've been an MC at several strongman events. This has been my life for a lot of years. Mm-hmm. I have never in my life had to have a fucking lanyard that had my events on it and my score, ever. Nor would I ever put those pieces together.
Yeah.
So we go to nationals. Anytime you compete, you show up, they give you like a gift bag of all your things that you need to compete, which is basically like free swag to be a competitor. Nationals is really cool because they give you a lot of free shit, like cool t-shirts and just cool stuff. So I show up and there's this fucking lanyard. It's got the logo on it and the lifts on the back.
This dang lanyard.
I'm like, whatever, man. So I just leave it in my fucking gym bag. The area we were competing in was a rodeo show.
Like a rodeo stadium.
Yeah. There you go. So it's huge.
Yeah.
So the spot for the competitors is on the opposite side of where you compete. So it's a lengthy distance away. Mm-hmm. So first event was a circus dumbbell clean and press. So that's a 200-pound circus dumbbell. Looks like a goofy, cartoonish sized dumbbell with a 2.5-inch handle. Like it's the same size as a soda can. It's a big, thick handle to press a dumbbell over your head. You have to do it single arm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And especially heavy.
Yeah. So I was prepared for it. I knew I'd get one or two. I was really excited. 2 people up in front of me. I was third person to go. First guy goes. You have 60 seconds, right? So very, very quick.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, there's like 70 people in the fucking class. So there's like a huge group of dudes over there. I look around and everybody's got this fucking lanyard on. And I said, do I need that lanyard to compete? And the guy running it goes, yeah, you can't compete unless you have it. So I have to throw my stuff down, run across the stadium, find my lanyard, run all the way back. And by the time I make it back, you're screaming for me. They're asking my name. They're ready to move on to the next competitor. I throw them the lanyard, put my fucking elbow wrap on. I'm out of breath. I'm totally shot. My mind's totally fucked. And then I have to go. Mm-hmm. I basically ran onto the stage, held onto the dumbbell, and they were like, competitor ready. Like, damn it. So it was like worse than zero. It was like I had never even played the fucking game ever. It was awful.
Yeah, not the best way to start.
No, it was really bad. And then what was next? Was yoke next?
Yeah.
I suck at yoke. 850-pound yoke is very heavy. I moved it 8 feet.
Yeah.
I just had no energy. It's like everything in my body was so spent that anytime I tried anything, I was getting nowhere.
Yeah.
And I have good lifts. I ran a 750 yoke for 50 feet. I've ran an 800-pound yoke before. Not quick, but I've ran it. I was very confident in my ability to complete all of these events, but I had never experienced that type of training before, that type of workout or altitude.
Yeah.
It was the most demoralizing thing I've been through since I've started.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you're still doing the sport, though.
Yeah, I remember telling you in the middle of it 2 or 3 times, I'm like, we will not have a podcast about this. I fucking hate this sport. I don't even know why I'm here. Let's go home now. Like, I was furious.
Oh, you also punched a wall.
I did, and I broke my hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Not the best move.
But you got to understand something. This is the disconnect for people. People see that passion level, and they're like, well, it's just a bunch of big guys being a bunch of idiots. They have no self-control. They're just a bunch of morons. No, they're extremely passionate, and they're extremely driven. And you've taken an entire year's worth of training, dieting, programming, time in the gym, sleep, logging everything, all of this put together for 60 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
60 seconds. Like, people don't understand that. And then they look at the person that's like losing their fucking mind because they couldn't put the pieces together. And they're like, oh, what an idiot. It's like, what? What do you mean, what an idiot? This is like my whole life in 60 seconds. And I couldn't do it. So what do you do with that? You just take all of it back to the drawing board and just say, it's okay. I'll just redo it. What? It's not okay. This is a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
So, like, you got to do something with it because you're not allowed to go touch that weight because it's somebody else's turn, and you can't drop the weight, and you can't retry. You just have to deal with it.
Take it out on the wall.
Yeah. You just have to freak out, which I think is extremely healthy. You have to learn how to do something with that level of intensity.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yes, Nationals didn't go all that great.
So, but I think some lessons were learned from that.
Every lift is a lesson.
I love that.
Every one. Every time you touch the iron, you learn something about yourself. Since every lift is a lesson, you have to be looking for the lesson, right? You can't live in arbitrary action because arbitrary action gets arbitrary results. And if you're looking to actually accomplish something, it's never done through arbitrary action. It's just not going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something glorious about doing hard shit. If you've never experienced that feeling of attempting something and failing, attempting again and failing, and then beating it, that Martel and I were joking around the other day. He tried 765 twice before I came into the gym. Then I came in and he hit it. And I said, that's living, man. That's it, brother. Like, that's what being alive feels like. Like, I feel sorry for people that don't get the chance to be around that.
Yeah.
That get to feel that you're capable of some really cool shit. And you're stronger than you ever thought you were. No matter what.
So you guys are deadlifting like 700, 800 pounds. I think Martel deadlifted 865 the other day from a rack pull.
Yeah.
And I want to kind of go to a different scenario. We're told by healthcare professionals, if we have some sort of slight injury, just don't push yourself. I was told that at 31 years old, don't do any more intense workouts because I have arthritis in my knee and it's bone on bone action and it's really going to be bad if I continue to lift. And you guys are over here. I mean, you've torn an ACL unofficially.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gone.
You've broken how many bones?
A lot. Every one of my fingers several times.
And your toes. You actually competed at nationals in Denver with 2 broken toes.
Yeah.
Because you dropped a dumbbell on them.
I did.
Oopsie. Yeah. So what do you say to the people that are saying right now, but my doctor told me not to work out, or like, that's cool that you can do all that intense shit, but like, that's not for me.
That's why nobody will remember your name. Yeah. Nobody will remember you. You will live in silence and leave in silence. And if you're okay with that, go for it. But you got one life. Yeah, you got one life.
Yeah.
Why waste it?
You can play it safe.
You can get injured walking down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
You can get injured opening a fucking cereal box. Why not get injured doing something cool? You know? Or trying to find out where your maximums are.
Here's the other cool thing. While you were competing the first time at Nationals, we met a guy who goes by the name of the Midwest Monster. You can look him up on the gram.
Yeah.
And this dude is tough as shit. He actually recently got into a motorcycle accident and rolled over his bike, from what I think I remember reading on social media.
Hit from behind and launched off of his bike.
Yeah. Dude walked away from that. Yeah. He won Masters this last year at Nationals. Oh, second place, sorry. He got second place at Nationals this last year in Denver. So this guy is like at the top of his fitness game right now, above the age of 40.
Yeah.
Was probably told at some point by doctors, don't work out.
Yeah, we all were.
Him working out as much as he does and having so much strength allowed him to sustain that accident and walk away virtually unscathed.
So he actually posted on his Instagram, I feel less beaten up than I did after Nationals.
Yeah.
You got hit by a fucking car.
On a motorcycle.
Oh. So, the human body is really interesting. So it's one of the only organisms on the planet that you can beat the shit out of and it becomes better. That's why when people tell me I have to listen to my body, it's going to tell me things. It'll lie to you first because it is inherently looking to avoid potential injury and pain.
Let's just pause right there because this is a really important principle that we need to know. Our brain, at a neurological level, wants to prevent pain and seek out pleasure.
Yes.
That does not always mean it does what's best for you.
No, because pleasure seeking is not progress seeking. Mm-hmm. It's different. It's a completely different set of rules. The human body operates really, really well under pressure. In fact, the most pressure you can put on it gets the most benefits. So more pressure all the time. I want as much as I can physically withstand. In fact, we do what's called some West Side barbell training where we do reverse band work so we can apply 110 to 120% of our maxes on our body so we can feel what that feels like. If you don't push yourself, you don't grow. Pressure is fantastic for the system. In fact, that's the only thing that, even in yoga, you try to do yoga, you have to find a point that is, the pressure is so intense that you have to just hold through it or work through it. Then you'll come back the next day and it's a little easier, then a little easier, then a little easier. And then all of a sudden you found a new pressure realm that was 10 times worse than you would have ever been able to do or unimaginable, and it's manageable. That's life. You have to push yourself through those pressure thresholds and find pain. And we look at pain as like this evil thing that's lurking behind every door and in dark rooms. It's going to jump out and get you the older you get. Pain is awesome. Pain is a barometer of stress. Like, you have to have pain in order to understand where you are. If you don't have pain, you're not doing anything. If the whole point of living is to avoid pain, just don't do anything. You'll be fine for a little while. Then your body will start falling apart and you'll have a lot of it. But you can avoid it. I mean, yeah, you can avoid it if you want. But like I said, nobody's going to remember who the fuck you are and what you did. You'll leave no legacy. You'll leave no awesomeness. Nobody will ever remember your challenge. Nobody will ever remember what you did. You will, like I said, live silent and leave silent.
There's another story that you told about a strongman that was driving by and saw a car accident, or was the car on fire?
So it's Brian Shaw. So he saw a car wreck. It's like 8-time world's strongest man. This guy's like a fucking mountain.
Yeah. You met him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool dude. Nicest guy at the Arnold Classic. Fantastic guy. Drove past, saw this car wreck. Girl was stuck in the car, and he ripped the fucking door off. He
saved her life.
Removed the fucking door from a car and saved the woman's life. Like, that is so fucking cool. Like, that would be the pinnacle of my existence, right?
Well, and just the other day, we were driving home from the office, and Chris is like, pull over. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? We were in a roundabout, one of the like 500 roundabouts we have in Carmel. And I'm like, what is going on? And he's like, I'm going to help this guy. Chris literally, by himself, pushes this guy's car like what the equivalent of probably like 2 blocks would be over to a parking lot.
Yeah.
And like this is not something a normal person would be able to do, but because you spend so much time in your sport, you have the strength to push a car to a parking lot that was broken down. This guy was sitting in the middle of a roundabout, and you're like, he's gonna get hit. I gotta help him.
Yeah,
like,
it would have been really bad if you just left him there.
Yeah. But I mean, how cool is it that this sport is putting you and Brian Shaw and whoever else, all these strongmen, Midwest Monster, putting you guys in a position to where you have these extraordinary gifts that then are helping other people.
Well, strength is really cool.
Yeah.
Being strong is really cool.
It is cool.
You can do more things when you're stronger. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Strength is never a weakness. You are never going to look at somebody that's really fucking strong and go, well, I don't know. That guy's pretty weak. Like, just isn't going to equate.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the weight room is the greatest representation of how to deal with life ever. 225 is always, no matter who you are, what you do, how much money you make, how cool you are, or how popular everything is around you, will always be 225. The only way you can lift that efficiently is by training. That is it. You have to do the same shit everybody else does. Mm-hmm. In order to be stronger, you have to train. That is it. You cannot earn it outside of anything. You have to fucking train. So it's the greatest measuring stick ever. You either train or you don't. You lift it or you don't. That is it. I can't give you a courtesy lift. It's did you lift it off the ground? Did you complete the lift? Yes or no?
So what do you say to the women who are listening and like, yeah, that's nice, but I don't want to get bulky?
I would say if you can figure out a way to get bulky without trying, let me know. You'll be a goddamn millionaire, because it doesn't fucking happen. You don't just wake up one day and look like Ronnie Coleman.
I don't know who that is.
He's an 8-time Mr. Olympia.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't happen. You will get larger, maybe, after several years of intense strength training, but it doesn't just happen. So you might tone up muscle groups underneath fat and look a little bit bigger. Your legs will get larger. Women have larger lower bodies than men do, naturally. But you're not just going to show up one day and just be massive. Like, when you touch a barbell, you don't turn into a dude, right? You become better. You become stronger. You get stronger. Strength is awesome. Some of the strongest people I know aren't big. I used to work out with a guy named John Alderson, who we used to call him the world's strongest baby. He was a 189er. He had a 700-pound deadlift at 189 pounds. He looked like a child. He didn't look like he lifted at all.
Yeah.
He had a six-pack, but he didn't have a huge chest. He didn't have big arms. He just looked like a normal guy. You can train strength and not get huge.
Yeah.
You have to train specifically, eat specifically, sleep specifically, recover specifically to become large.
You have to eat a whole lot of food.
So we're not talking about a whole lot of food. We're talking about eat until you cannot swallow anymore. So you have to chew it up in your mouth into little tiny pieces and swig water to swish it around to get it down.
I mean, you were doing that before nationals.
Because there's no other way to grow.
Yeah.
So for somebody to look at me and say, well, I can't touch the weights, although I don't control my diet. I probably eat about 1,200 calories. I kind of train, but I get really big when I lift. No, ma'am, you don't. That's a fact. There's hard and fast rules about the human body. One of them is you don't grow muscle arbitrarily, and you're not fucking huge by touching the barbell one time.
Yeah.
That's just not going to happen. I would push any woman to the weights. In fact, any training client that I have, we use the barbell all the time. Mm-hmm. If you have to bend down and pick up your baby or do the dishes, I do the dishes all the time, so I'm not saying this is like a sexist thing. I never have trouble with my back bending over because I deadlift all the time. I squat all the time. I bench all the time. So I don't have trouble doing normal household things. Wouldn't it be better if you were stronger and you didn't have to worry about doing normal household things?
In pain?
Yeah. Like getting up out of bed. When I'm really heavy, it's slow. But I did that to myself, you know. But I'm strong enough now that I don't have trouble with these normal everyday things. I can jump out of the car and move somebody else's if I have to. I don't have trouble with those.
Yeah.
The whole point of strength training is to become stronger. When you're stronger, you're better. You're a more efficient person.
Are you afraid of getting injured?
No, that's my favorite. Injury's a gift, man. Yeah, injury's awesome. Injury is I've pressed myself past my current level of capability, and I found out what happens. It's the best data you can get. It sucks, but it's the best data you can get.
Yeah.
And who cares, man? Who cares if you get hurt? It's going to happen anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, I broke my toe dropping a dumbbell on it, but I've also broken my toe walking past a coffee table. I broke my finger walking into a door, like in a doorway, and somehow I turned at the same time. You know that little hole that the doorknob goes into to shut the door? My pinky got caught in it, and it snapped it.
This is the dumbest thing I ever heard.
I was blown away that it happened. Like, this is the dumbest injury I've ever had.
That's impressive.
Right? Like, that's really dumb.
Yeah, don't tell that story. Just pretend it's a dumbbell or something.
But I also broke my finger deadlifting. I've broken my finger with dumbbells several times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to happen anyways. You might as well do something cool and make your body more resilient.
Yeah.
The issue is whenever we try to avoid injury or we think it's like pain, like hiding in the room, ready to jump out and grab us, we do nothing. Therefore, we have a weaker body. So if we have a weaker body, our threshold for injury is larger. If we train, our threshold for injury is smaller. Our body can handle more pressure and stress. So for the person that says, I don't know why you do that, all I see is potential injury. Yeah, but I see more potential injury in you because you don't. I might get hurt underneath a barbell, but I'm going to come back faster. I'm going to come back better. I tell the athletes I train or that come to Odyssey, all we're doing is lengthening the time between injury and increasing the speed that you come back from. You will get hurt. You will get injured. But how long can we push that off and how quick can we come back from it? Because I'm not naive enough to think that we're going to train you and you're going to spend 20 years in the field and you're never going to get hurt. Absolutely not. No.
So what does your training schedule look like now? How do you train in the gym?
Right now I'm in my bodybuilding season.
Your bodybuilding era?
Yeah, my pretty boy era. So it's less dynamic. Like I have less intensity with it.
You're just trying to look cute?
Well, I want to maintain what I have. I hate that word maintenance, but I want to be able to still press good weight. But I'm not worried about adding weight.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily chasing any numbers right now. I still want to keep, early sevens deadlift. I want to still keep a mid fours bench press. Right now I'm nursing a knee injury. So just trying to make sure longevity is there and I have the window to allow me to spend that time.
Yeah.
So.
And do you work out 7 days a week?
No, I don't know anybody works out 7 days a week unless you're in a CrossFit gym.
Don't hate on the CrossFitters.
Well, you just only have so much energy, right? So
How many times a week do you train?
Maximum 4.
Okay.
So the body's really cool. There's 168 hours in a week. And if you spent 4 of those with intentional training, in 6 months, you'd look like a different person. 4. Not 20. Yeah. Maximum's 5, I think. Maximum is 5 of intentional high intensity, meaning get what needs to be done to the point that you are reaching failure or reaching your preset goals, i.e. your training model. You're actually following it.
Yeah. What are your goals, or what are some of the things that you're looking to accomplish next?
I will, without a doubt, bench 5.
Okay. 500.
Yes, that is the goal, or a goal. I'd like to deadlift 8. Once the knee's rehabbed, my ultimate goal for squats is 7. I think that's in the cards for next year. It's not this year. I'm just going to spend the rest of this year and early next rehabbing. But yeah, once it's back up to par, that'll be pretty quick.
What about Strongman?
So I'm not going to go back until I compete in what's called Masters. So
That's the old man's club?
it is old man's club. You have to have a certain amount of gray hairs to compete in it. No, it's everybody over 40.
Yeah.
So I'm 38. I turned 39 in February.
Yep.
And it's, what is that, 4 months from now? So I'm going to take all of 39 and just train, have a good time, enjoy training. One of the things that happened at Nationals was I crammed so much competition in that
You had 3 competitions in a 6-month period.
Well, my first pro show in February, a show in Lafayette to qualify for Nationals, and then Nationals.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, it's 3 a year is max. I did 3 in 6 months.
Yeah.
So
That's a lot.
plus the previous ones before. I think it was a total of 5 in a year.
Yeah.
So I lost not the love for the sport, but the fire. Like it became work, and it became like something I had to do, not that I was passionate about. And I just didn't have it anymore. And I knew I could get it. It didn't go away. It was hidden under frustration, right? Like I want so much for myself, and I can see myself in the future at a different level than I am now. That's so far away because I've come so far that like I'm toying around. The goals that I have would have been unreal for me when I started. Like not even fucking close.
We also were opening up this office.
Yeah, it was a lot of dynamics.
The week after you competed in Nationals, we got the keys to this place and then went straight into renovations, which you did all of that yourself. So there was a lot going on that I think made that whole thing just very intense. And we also had a trip to Montana. I mean, we did...
Yeah, we did a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot of travel before, a lot of travel after, a lot of stuff to do.
We also got engaged somewhere in there.
We did.
There was a lot. So, all right. So we're coming back for Masters in about a year and some change.
Yep.
Are you going to compete in any bodybuilding or powerlifting competitions before then?
I might toy around with powerlifting. I have no desire to be a bodybuilder.
But you're in your bodybuilder era.
As in, I'm okay with looking pretty and not being super fat.
You sure are pretty.
So usually when I compete, I like to train at about 290, 280, cut down to 275 for the competition, but be around the heavy boy era, stage. I think real men are 300 pounds. So I like to eventually get to 300. I just don't like walking around at that. That's a lot of weight. So
yeah.
I'm about 250, 260 right now, which is doable.
So what do you wish more people knew about fitness or the gym?
One, I wish people understood that scary is good. A little bit of fear is good for you. It's healthy. I also wish that they could see what I see when I look at them. We're capable of so much shit. We're so awesome. We're just in our own way.
Yeah.
I mean, all the time we're in our own way. There are not words to explain what it looks like to watch somebody come in with 2 handfuls of pills and say, I've been on this for 20 years. I'm fucking tired of it. What do I do? And then all they do is walk on the treadmill a little bit and pump a little bit of iron, and they change their whole life.
Yeah.
They changed their whole life. They've gone from scarfing down $2,000 worth of medication to an aspirin every now and then, and they've just been lied to. They've just lost their magic, you know? I just wish people could look in the mirror and be like, you know, I'm my white knight, man. I'm the one here to save me, because there just isn't anybody else to do it. And you have this like slew of people that depend on you, that you don't even know they depend on you, and they're watching you and they're following you. And I just wish people knew how powerful they were.
That's beautiful. How has your commitment to fitness impacted other areas of your life?
That affects all of them. Hands down. Nothing in life is ever as difficult as the gym. If you really push yourself, if you get under a really heavy squat and you're like convulsing before you even start the movement, so much weight that your body is like, what are you doing? And then you sit down and stand up with it multiple times. You leave that gym and then you have a deadline at work. Well, it's not that hard. It's not 500 pounds crushing me. It's not 600 pounds asking me how much do I really want this? Everything else is easier. And it teaches you how to have delayed gratification. Mm-hmm. Do I want to bench 500 pounds? Yeah. It's taken me 25 years of training to get to the point that it is in the cards for the next year, 365 days, 12 months, 52 weeks. It will land in that area. But to say it took me 25 fucking years to even have the thought that it could land in the next 52 weeks, you want to talk about delayed gratification. Then you look at your job and you're like, well, I want to be the CEO of this company. Okay, awesome. Maybe it might land in the next 10 years. That's acceptable to me. I understand that it's going to take that long, and I understand I have to build all of these movements and things underneath me. I have to achieve all of these things before I get a shot at it. Because that's all fitness is just a shot at it. Like, you're just training to get into the room to attempt. So yeah, it's affected everything. It changes your viewpoint. How you expect life to play out, I think, is what it shows you. It plays out based on the effort you put in. Yeah, there's plenty of people who go to the gym, just sit there, look the same in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years, in 10 years. It plays out based on the effort you give.
Dang. Well, I got to go work out now.
I think it's beautiful. I think everybody should do it. I know it's hard. I know it's intimidating. But what great thing isn't hard to achieve, and what great thing isn't worth a little bit of effort? You know?
Yeah.
What do you want out of life? You want to die like the way you are right now? Because there's 2 stages. We're either growing or we're dying. So you can avoid injury all you want. You're just dying slowly. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to die slowly. I want to go hard, see what happens.
I love it. What help can you offer for the people that are struggling to figure out what to do in the gym, or struggling to put together some plans or goals, or just struggling in general with their health? What help can you offer?
Well, one, I'd love to talk to you. Like, let's just have a cup of coffee and figure this out. Tell me everything you got. What's going on? What do you want? Where do you want to go? I think the biggest issue with people is they don't know where they want to go. They don't have a vision for themselves. It's arbitrary. Mm-hmm. It's, well, I don't like weightlifting, or I don't like running, or I don't like eating clean, so that's just not going to be a part of my life. Well, you're going to invite a lot of other shitty things in there. So I think the best thing to do is to talk it out with somebody that's achieved something. You can talk to your friends that are in the same spot all day long and validate your existence, but you got to find somebody that's pushed the threshold, that's gone farther than you ever want to, because they've already achieved what you want to do 10 times over. Find somebody that's great. I do it all the time. I message Matthew McConaughey on Instagram. I mean, has he messaged me back? No. But
doesn't matter. He will.
But he might.
He might.
I mean.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
So you increased your odds for sure.
Yeah, just find somebody that's done something you want to do and ask them how they did it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to at least increase your knowledge.
Yeah.
And if you increase your knowledge, you increase your chances. Yeah.
So start with the conversation.
Start with the conversation and look at yourself in the mirror and have an honest talk with yourself. Are you where you want to be? Do you feel good right now? And do you like what you look at? It's okay to be honest because you're only talking about this point in time currently. We're not talking about the future. The future you is up to you. It's not up to anybody else. You're not dictated on what you look like in 10 years. You can fix pretty much anything. Mm-hmm. So if you want to look different, look different. Make that decision. Do it. We have gobs of knowledge. There are people that are a gajillion times smarter than I will ever be on Instagram. Message them. Find it out. You have a question? Find your answer.
Yeah.
And then implement it. Do something about it. If you're your only white knight, if the person in that mirror, you don't like the way they look, that person and you are the only people that are going to fix it.
Yep.
So, yeah. Just make a fucking move, man. If it's walking for 5 minutes every day, walk for 5 minutes every day. Let's slowly compound on this thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to the gym day one. If it's intimidating, I get it. Come here. Start training with us.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah. All right. So reach out if you need help, if you need support with your fitness goals. You don't have to wait till New Year's to come up with a resolution to do it. I think Haley posted yesterday, 99 problems.
Yeah. 99 days left in a year. Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah. We got 98 days left in this year to make the most of it. And the other cool thing is you're never going to be younger than you are today.
Well, that and you're powerful, man.
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe everybody on this planet was put here for a reason. You can do things you never thought imaginable. You never thought were even in the ballpark.
Yeah.
You just have to get out of your own way. I would bet my life on that. You will be able to do things you never thought possible.
Thanks for listening to Redefining Resilience.
To learn more about building your mental and physical readiness, check out odysseyresilience.org.
And follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok.